So let's talk about how the iPhone 11 is still a great phone to buy even all these years later. And let's just, for example, compare it with the iPhone 15. Let's see how much value this phone still has. So first of all, let's go with the price. You can get several iPhone 11s for the price of one iPhone 15, and the jump to the iPhone 15 is actually not that much. Price wise, you could find the iPhone 11 for less than 200 bucks, and you can just get great deals. This phone is several years older than the iPhone 15, so yeah, you could definitely get a great price, a great device, instead of paying $800 to $830 on a new iPhone 15. So the iPhone 11 was released in 2019, around 4 years ago when you compare it to the iPhone 15. And the one big difference you'll see right away is that the iPhone 11 is LTE 4G only. It doesn't have 5G like the iPhone 15, but I don't see too much of a difference in speeds between both of those technologies. Now, they both have the same size, just about, so that's not real. It's not really a problem right there. It does weigh a little bit more than the iPhone 15 at 6.8 ounces versus 6 ounces on the 15. Build quality, there's not much difference. They're glass devices with glass backs, and there's aluminum frame on both. So it still has the same build quality as 4 years ago between the two. Now, SIM card status, that's a big one for me because the iPhone 11 has nano SIM card and eSIM. The iPhone 15 only has eSIM in the US. So that's a big win, a big advantage for picking up the iPhone 11 in 2023. Both of these devices have IP68 dust and water resistance, although the 11 only has 2 meters of dust and water resistance versus the 6 on the 15. Display wise, not too much of a difference again, because both of these devices have a 60 hertz refresh rate. So you're not really seeing much of a difference in screen resolution. This is almost the same as well. It's not like you're going to from the Pro 120 hertz or anything like that. So that's very competitive right there for the iPhone 11. Both are 6.1 inches in screen size. Resolution, again, they're similar. You got 326 ppi versus the 461 ppi on the iPhone 15. Not too much of a big difference. OS, they both run iOS 17, and the iPhone 11 is slated to at least get 1 more year of updates. So keep that in mind. Chipset, you get the A13 Bionic versus the A16 Bionic on the iPhone 15. And honestly, unless you're running some high-end apps, you're not going to notice that much in speed. The storage wise, you might see a little difference there. The iPhone 11 starts off at 64 gigs versus the 128 on the 15. And you got 4 gigs of RAM versus 6 gigs of RAM in the iPhone 15. Again, you're not going to notice too much of a difference. For the camera resolution and the camera quality, very similar on these devices. Both have widescreen or ultra wide lenses for the main camera, and both shoot in 4K video, and both have selfie cameras at 4K. Honestly, you probably won't notice the camera quality that much unless you are an aficionado, you're a camera enthusiast. You're not going to notice that much difference. Neither of these have a headphone jack. That's a long time ago. It was erased with the iPhone 7. Bluetooth, you got 5.0 on the 11, 5.3 on the 15. Again, you're not going to notice any real differences, any meaningful differences with that. Both of these have Apple Pay with NFC. One difference is the charging port. You got Lightning on the 11, Type-C on the iPhone 15. And for the most part, most people are not going to really care about these. It's just going to matter of upgrading your cables probably. But Lightning is still everywhere, and I don't see that being a problem for the iPhone 11. Both of these devices have a Face ID. Both have ultra wideband capabilities, which is mostly used for me in my case is trying to find an AirTag. But the iPhone 15 has ultra wideband 2, and it has emergency SOS. So that's one difference right there. Now, when it comes to battery life, these are similar in battery sizes. The iPhone 11 has slightly smaller battery at 3110 milliamps, while the iPhone 15 has 3300 milliamp battery. So Unless you have a very degraded battery, you won't see much of a difference in battery life. Charging wise, they both charge 50% in 30 minutes, so that's kind of fast charging for me right there. And both have wireless charging, except the 15 also added MagSafe, and it has reverse wired charging with the USB-C. So after comparing both of these devices, there are some areas where the iPhone 15 is just a little bit better. That's kind of across the board here. There's not one real game-changing feature that makes the iPhone 15 better or radically better. They both have great cameras. They run the same version of iOS. LTE and 5G is a noticeable difference if in technologies, but not in speed. So that doesn't really matter right there. Both have good build qualities. The big advantage, I think, on the iPhone 11 is going to be that having a nano SIM card slot and the eSIM, that's actually just a big plus for the 11 and way easier than just going all eSIM on the iPhone 15. But looking across the board, I mean, if you could hold off with just one more year or two of getting those updates, after that, it's going to be a burden. I think that's when you really have to think about upgrading, and you can't really choose an iPhone that doesn't support the latest operating system. So apart from that, the iPhone 11 is still a good buy, even when you compare it to a device newer by 4 years, the iPhone 15.